He said, we have put this Constitution together. Hopefully it will last, as I see it. It has lasted. Now, I will say this, there's an oxymoron that comes to play here, that the Constitution can be changed, but it is rigidly flexible when we think about amendments to the Constitution. The Constitution is not solidified. It can be changed. There can be ad hoc committees that can surface. There can be dissenters, people such as you, that can make change. So to scream and yell and holler about the Constitution, amendment due process is what I would think you would be leaning toward, to make some changes.
The thing that I focus on is not so much that element that Franklin sets forth and that you articulate correctly, but the understanding which is missed in most contemporary interpretations of the Constitution. The Constitution is a piece of paper. And a lot of people who are in the lofty intellectual quarters of this country, in those ivory towers, somehow see this animated piece of paper going out and do something. The Constitution is nothing other than the administration that is representing it, the judiciary that is interpreting it. And I'm saying with this particular administration, this particular judiciary, we see a reverse of what has been history. The Constitution originally was a club for white, wealthy males. We the people did not mean we the people. It meant white, wealthy males.
Well, let's go back to Franklin again. Benjamin Franklin said, where are the blacks? Are the women? When it was being formulated,
the quote that he made specifically was that at that actual signing of the Constitution, if you've seen that lofty picture, he, Benjamin Franklin, said, there are no slaves here, there are no women here, and there aren't even poor white males here. Yeah. And the point that we are making is that the Constitution, like an umbrella, by each generation of Americans has been opened further and further to cover slaves, to cover women, to cover those who are 18 and over. And I'm saying that you see, if you understand that the Constitution is no more than those who govern it, in the Reagan administration, in the judiciary that we presently have, an interest in closing that umbrella, in pushing people back out into the reign of tyranny. And ours is to simply say that Ronald Reagan, on a practical basis, doesn't need the Constitution. He lives exactly as Mikhail Gorbachev does in Russia. The wealthy, the powerful, live beautifully everywhere in the world. The miracle of the American institution is that the middle class here has a quality of life that is enjoyed nowhere else. The miracle of the American dream is that the lower class has a quality of life that is enjoyed here that is enjoyed nowhere else. It is they who have the grace mandate to celebrate the Constitution.
But along the way, part of your celebration, a different kind of celebration and for different reasons, which you've touched on. Edward, there are some unsung heroes of the Constitution.
Well, I think
here we have Miranda, we have Wade, there are
we have Mrs. Maps, who I talked to just the other day.
Yes, exactly. And perhaps
these people are left out. Here again, when you get together with the cronies on the Potomac, they hold up in lofty marble statues all of the white, wealthy males who have ever contributed to the Constitution. The Constitution was not written and signed in Philadelphia. The Constitution was started there. And there are a host of very small, very unimportant, very meager, very sordid in often cases, Americans who are walking down the road, minding their own business, and all of a sudden they were swept up into the constitutional process. And by taking their particular law or their particular ideal or their particular campaign up through the courts, they have changed the Constitution.
Okay, well, we have to go. And we're just getting started here.
Well, let me make one other observation
very quickly,
here. If you want to, in fact, involve yourself in figure out your favorite part of the Constitution, write us and let us know what you're going to do to celebrate it. And you can do that by writing us at Pro Per Inc. The address is 2098. That's the post office box, excuse me, 2098, and that's in Beverly Hills, California. And the zip code out there is 90213.
Edward, we will have that address here. They may call Dania or Meredith, and we will give that to those interested.
Pleasure being in Miami.
Nice to have met you. Thank you for coming, because the celebration of the Constitution comes in many packages. Here's an interesting one. Nice to have you here.
Pleasure again.
Boy, good stuff. Stay tuned. In a moment, we have a man in our studio that he is an entomologist, among other attributes. And that doesn't mean he collects insects. That means he loves the language, English language. Stay tuned. He'll be with us in a moment.